Hello and welcome to Middle Age Geeks. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Phil and I'm joined as always by my co-host Daz. Daz, how are you?
Very good, man. Very good. Just back from watching our superb movie for this week. Feel energized after watching it. And a newfound love for movies in general. Yeah. How are you? Good?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah. Amazing to hear you just lie to my face like that. But yeah, all right. Yeah. Yeah, it should be. I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. It's been a busy week and I'm looking forward to getting into some of the stuff we have to cover. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, the format is that our main part of our podcast is a movie review, one which Daz will be taking us through today. But before that, we like to go through some stuff that's jumped out for us, kind of geek wise in the news, and then if we have time, we talk a little bit about what we've been playing and watching. But yeah, I suppose if to start off with the news stuff, then Daz, is there anything that's jumped out at you this week?
Yeah, it's more Borderlands. I just really want to see this movie more than ever now. Broke even more records, all the bad records. Its second week drop this week was unparalleled. It was astonishing. Like, in general, second weekend box office drops, mainly in the States, are, you get a 50 to 60% drop, which is kind of natural. That's normal. If it's less than 50%, that's fucking incredible. And if it's more than 60, it's a little bit worrisome. And Borderlands took a drop of 72%, setting a new record. But it's how the record is attributed to the movie in general. I mean, like other big, maybe Marvel movies or big tentpole movies have taken 70% drops, but that's okay because those movies have made north of 100 million opening weekend, well on their way to 600-700 billion. So Borderlands took a 72% drop on 8 million quid.
It's fucking hell. They probably can't even pay the staff that worked on the movie.
It's incredible. And that kind of runs perfectly into Gamescom and some of the reveals there, because they opened their opening night live show with a teaser trailer for Borderlands 4.
Borderlands 4, yeah.
In the run up, this obviously planned fucking months ago, putting the trailer together and going, oh my god, yeah, this is coming out on. We're going to reveal this on the back of Borderlands, and like, oh my god, yeah, it's going to be fucking amazing. And the IGN did shots of the crowd, because it's a big enough arena for Gamescom. There's about 3 people in the audience just like clapping. Everyone else is just staring at the screen going, yeah, who gives a shit about that? So Borderlands not having a good few weeks, but the big thing gaming wise was Gamescom. But they did, and I know both of us were loving this when Tim Miller, who directed the first Deadpool, came out.
Yeah.
And said that he's been working for 3 years on a new TV show, 15-part anthology series called Secret Level. And each episode, it's from the kind of producers and studios that kind of did Love, Death and Robots, which was pretty good, like hit and miss for me. But some of the episodes were fantastic. But that the main trick in this whole thing is that each episode is going to be within a game world. There's like Sifu and Pac-Man and Mega Man. There's Outer Worlds. There's like Warhammer. There's shots of like
God of
Kratos
War,
from God of War, like standing in a street, fucking New York or something. Just all these kind of random shots, and it was just a lot of like elation and also kind of confusion and kind of going, whoa, how are you going to make a show about Pac-Man? But
but they're probably just going to be quite short. I mean, if it's the same thing,
like 10, 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got me going, oh yeah, and it's December 10th it's out, which is not too long away. And it was good to see Tim Miller, like when he was delivering it, he was choking up and getting emotional. He's obviously a big gamer, like, and he's just very passionate about it. It's nice to see that people on stage being real human beings. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I wonder, I assume Christopher Judge will be doing the voice of Kratos. I mean, because he looks like the PlayStation 4 version. You couldn't have him and not have the proper voice. And they must have got him on board, I'm sure.
He jumped at that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on Gamescom, there was a Batman Arkham Shadow VR game that looked pretty good, but it's only on the Meta Quest. And it looks really cool and it would probably have you sick to your fucking stomach because it's really echoing the Arkham games. There's a lot of traversal and grappling hooks and flying up onto, up into the shadows. And it's one of those things with VR that it's all well and good, but if you don't have the mechanics to tell the story and to make it natural for you to be traversing around the place, it is quite strange when you are walking in a VR world and when you're not walking yourself. There's a disconnect between your brain. It's a little, not unsettling, but it's a little like, oh, that's weird. That would be for me, but for you, it would be just be. Just
I puke straight away. I'm getting upset so much thinking about it.
So, that looked good. And then the last bit of news, which fucking wild, it was Francis Ford Coppola's. There was another trailer, and I remember that this was being. I didn't actually get to see it, but I saw there was reports that it was about to be released or something like that. But I never got a chance to see it because it was pulled from all their online sites because there was lots of quotes in the trailer about various critics that were criticizing Francis Ford Coppola and his movies, and they were all discovered to be completely fake. Absolutely completely fake. I think the trailer started with like, true genius is often misunderstood, and then quoting somebody from Vulture magazine saying that like they thought Apocalypse Now was a piece of trash, or someone like hated The Godfather, and they're all like, straight away on Twitter just like, what are you talking about? Like, here's my review of that like 20 years ago. I really fucking love that. So it was a marketing disaster, and Lionsgate immediately came out. And we offer our sincere apologies to all the critics involved and to Francis Ford Coppola and American Zoetrope, his production company, for this like inexcusable error in our vetting process. We screwed up and we are sorry. And it's just like, this movie just really, it needs a break. Like it's one of those things where it's just been hammered for what it is and how it looks and the kind of history of it. But stuff like this in the market, like it needs a good marketing run. And this is unparalleled introduction to trailers online now. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, we fucked up.
But that's it. Like I had seen some of the screenshots from this thing, and as I said to you, like I thought that someone was trolling them, like they'd been hacked and someone had put these things out. I was like, oh, that's mental. To find out it was an actual thing that they released, fucking meant that's crazy. Like.
But yeah, that was just that rounded off a good week news wise for me. How about yourself?
Yeah, a few things this week. It's been a few things that jumped out. I don't know. Did you watch the Alien? This kind of teaser, very very short teaser for Alien Earth?
No, not at all.
By the time I spoke that sentence, you could have watched it. Like it's tiny. It's basically just it just kind of you see the Earth, but it's basically just a reflection of the Earth in the xenomorph's head, and then the xenomorph lifts up, and then the face kind of does its bite towards the camera, and that's it. Nothing else. I was like, for fuck's sake, like I thought you get something cooler than that. And it looks really heavily, like badly CGI'd as well. It doesn't look great. It was a weird kind of choice for that to be the first thing that we see from it. But then the other thing is, and this is good news, is James Spader returning as Ultron. And I know Age of Ultron isn't everybody's favorite, but man, when that trailer first came out and James Spader doing the voice, it looks creepy. It looked fucking awesome. There are no strings on me. Oh, that first trailer, I was like, I couldn't wait to see it. Like, now he was let down. They kind of fucking. I didn't like
so
what
much
they did
more
with
comedic, wasn't it? When we kind of glanced at each other during it, kind of going, we made another joke, just going, that's what 3 jokes in the last 10 minutes. What the fuck? The trailer was far more creepy, man. That trailer's up there with one of the most viewed trailers fucking ever. It's so tight. It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And that kind of the half hanging apart kind of boss, just walking along.
It's such a weirdo.
It's so well done. But yeah, we'll see what he do. He's going to be in the Vision series, which is out 2 years from now. So we'll see. It's mad. Like I think in the last 10 years, he's only starred in 2 things. One of them was Age of Ultron. And the other one is that Blacklist show that he was one of the main stars in. And that's it. So, yeah, and then another joke was, I seem to mention it fucking almost weekly, is the Last of Us TV show, which I cannot wait for season 2. But Caitlin Dever she has to have extra security on set just because of the character that she's playing. Like, the people are so against Abby as a character and against it that it's just, like, you don't even know what they're going to do with it in the TV show. And even if it is the exact same thing, why are you getting angry at an actress? Like, it's
so fucking stupid. Like,
it's fucking ridiculous. But obviously, there's so many fucking nut jobs out there that you have to you have to be careful. And then so this is one of my guilty pleasures, Des, and I don't know. I'm sure you've seen it, but the movie Anaconda? Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, fucking great. Yeah.
So it's getting like a reimagining, with like a remake with Paul Rudd and Jack Black in talks to star in it. But like the first one is a guilty pleasure of mine, and like the cast was ridiculous. Like the cast was like Eric Stoltz, John Voight, Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson, Carrie Werner, Danny Trejo, Ice Cube, and a couple of others. Like it's got a decent cast, and
Carrie
like
Werner.
it's oh god, Carrie Werner, man, back in the 90s, wow. But yeah, like even if you haven't seen it, anybody at home haven't seen it, check it out. Just for John Voight's accent, like it changes multiple times already. He's trying to do like a Creole kind of thing, I think, at some point. But
it changes mid scene at times. It's like what's happening? It's almost like, you ever see the what's that movie I Heart Huckabees? Did you ever see that movie ago?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg is in it, and he obviously came back from reshoots. So there's actual scenes where it's just like a shot of him, sitting on a bench with somebody, chatting away. Then it cuts to her and cuts back to him, and he's just got longer hair. Like his kind of beard or stubble is going to change, like proper. Just like your hair is long, and then it's back, and it's just it's in between sentences, just like fucking hell.
That's hilarious.
It's brilliant. Couldn't give a shit. Like.
Well, I'm a fan of Anaconda. It's just so ridiculous. So many laugh out loud moments in it, the way the fucking snake acts and all the rest of it. John Voight's accent. It's worth.
He's so good.
It's definitely worth a watch if you're that kind of movie. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is some fantastic news, and that is that The Acolyte is not getting a season 2.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Shocked.
Well
Shocked,
done.
I say.
I know, yeah.
But like
the internet is falling apart.
Like, what did you think was going to happen when you came out and made it? Like, the main actress made a diss track slagging off Star Wars fans. Like, what did you think was going to happen? That they were going to watch? That more people were going to flock to watch it after you slagging them off? Like,
what world do you live in, and what bubble do you live in where that is a wise choice?
and the reaction on Twitter is unreal. Like, you've got these people, like, obviously a lot of people are delighted, but then there's plenty of people who are just blaming, saying if the show didn't make it because you must be a bigot. Anybody that's like, oh, you're afraid you didn't watch it because it's got a female led lead and stuff. It's like, hang on a second, like, look at fucking what we call it, the Star Wars trilogy afterwards, sequel trilogy. I mean, fucking. That made an absolute bomb and raised the main character. Yeah, the main star is female. No one has any issue with this stuff. Yeah, it's literally just this fucking show that's absolutely shit, and it's mad that you can come out, call people racist if you didn't watch it. That's the reason that it got cancelled. Well, then how come if that's the only reason, well then there still should be a bunch of enough of you watching it to get it to get a season 2. The people
Numbers
who don't
were
like it,
abysmal. Like the first 2 episodes did well because any Star Wars property or kind of new story within the franchise is always going to do well. First, because they released 2 episodes at once, which was bolstered the numbers for both episodes. But then it just trailed off, and apparently after episode 4, it just fell off a cliff, and just numbers were abysmal. And in America, it's cutthroat. It's just like, yeah. And good for Disney to just go,
you just cut,
fuck it,
this is losses.
That's a mess. Like, yeah.
And like, if you look at the numbers, even like if it was a case of like, oh, it's only because fucking racists are downvoting it and that. Well, there should have been, if enough people watched it and enjoyed it, it would get a season 2. Doesn't matter if they're racist and blah blah. Like we said about Caitlin Dever, character Abby. There was so many people fucking complaining about that game, about the characters that were in it. That one character was trans, one was gay or butch or whatever else was in it. That game broke all sorts of records, but critically, commercially, the whole lot. So it doesn't matter if people had watched it. But this one, the finale, had the lowest ratings, the lowest watch numbers of any Star Wars show that they've put out. So if the finale is the lowest viewed, you can't just fucking blame a whole load of people. Did you fucking watch it yourself? Like, or YouTube was dying to get online to call everybody who didn't watch it a bigot. Like, it's just
the people who it was
it.
the people who it was made for, the target audience, Star Wars fans, thought it was shit. And that's them. And then everyone else, Star Wars fans, they could be rose-tinted glasses all the way there, and kind of, if people like it, that's all well and good. It's all subjective. That's totally fine. But the general masses, the critics and audience, just thought it was pants, and it was pants, and that's okay. You just fucking move on. It doesn't get a second season. Everybody wins. See you later. Whoever loved it, you can keep watching it forever. Yeah.
And that bothers me, is that the first thing you think of, or some of these people think of, is race. That's the first thing that comes to their mind. Oh, well, one of the main actors, she's black, so that must be it then. That must be the reason that you don't like it. It's like, well, it's more racist. That's the first thing you thought of when people said the show was shit, rather than looking at how crap the writing was, how shit the effects were. The sets are fucking terrible. And the fact that they kept recapping all this stuff, that they kept contradicting itself. So many flaws. But if your first thing you think of when someone says, I don't like that show, is, oh, they must be a racist, you're probably a racist yourself, you twat. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my last bit of news I wanted to finish on, because it's just great news. I don't know about you, Daz, but I have had a very quiet week with regards playing and watching. So this next section now, I don't know if it's probably going to be a pretty short one. I've done fuck all. I was working all week, up to my eyes. I did have telly on in the background.
I've done fuck all.
Yeah, well, there you go. I had telly on in the background and managed to get through all of The Wire. So I've watched all of that. And yeah, fucking nothing else, man. Nothing my way. How about yourself?
I've been really busy and kind of working a few evenings. So I've literally been coming back for an hour or two before bed and just going to my pet loves like Cyberpunk and Dredge. Just kind of playing them because I just pick up and play a mission, play half an hour, and that's all well and good. And then watching wise, just fucking watching a lot of shit on YouTube. Like my favorite thing now is Cardor Crew, who do a great like good and bad VFX, and they bring in VFX people who've worked on certain, like someone who's worked on Titanic or King Kong or something, and then they look at their work and then they kind of grade other good work and other absolute atrocious CGI, like fucking Scorpion King was on the other day, and it's fucking great seeing industry standard people kind of go, trying not to absolutely tear something apart and just say it very eloquently, like, that's probably not the best choice there to put, Dwayne Johnson on a scorpion. But
do you have YouTube Premium? Do you pay for the premium?
No, I have a Smart Tube on my Fire Stick, which actually was for about 2 hours. It went down, so I had to watch normal YouTube with ads and stuff, and fuck me sideways. I was just 20 seconds, and you get these things now where it's 20 seconds and then a 30-second one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting.
Add one of two. Add one of what? Fuck off.
See you later.
I actually pay for it. I actually pay for the YouTube Premium, and although it's too expensive, I won't
quality of life though.
But the difference, man, it's so like, because it's some of the stuff I like to watch. If I am watching something on YouTube, it could be a recording of a stream, or it could be something like a really long, something like our show that we put on. That's going to be over an hour long. That I don't want to fucking get taken out of it by fucking ads every few minutes. So I'm happy. I happily pay for it. Going back to regular YouTube is just not happening.
Yeah. The ads within videos is just like, it's fucking sacrilege. I don't mind if people want to do a sponsored thing on
something
a video
at the start, or
yeah.
But the ones in the middle of it, like the United Stand is a football podcast. I'm not sure it's not a great podcast. They're dickheads, but it is literally like every 3 minutes. Like it's just fucking 3 minutes of talking, 2 minutes of ads, 3 minutes of talking, 2 minutes of ads. It's like, it's fucking insane. And people, obviously, they're getting money from it because they're big, one of the bigger podcasts or followed play ones. Like, but
that's what I used to do before on YouTube. I don't know if I was telling you, like, if it came up like a 20-second ad, I go, no, out of it, go back in again and wait for the 5-second ad. But I do it so many times that it'd be better off just listen to watch the 20-second ad. It took me 45 seconds, just like, I've won. No, you haven't. Oh, fuck's sake. But yeah, getting ready for Star Wars Outlaws next week. And looking forward. I'm looking forward to, and I have a yearning to get stuck into good single player campaign. Again, I've been doing a lot of kind of dipping in and out of stuff for quite a while, and haven't had any focus gaming wise, like a Starfield or something like that. So hopefully Outlaws is at least gets an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. Then I'll jump into that for the next few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, that we'd both be fucking delighted with that. I mean, everything from to get back into a decent Star Wars game, because they don't come around too often. Would be great. Oh, cool. Well, that section out of the way, we're going to move on to our movie review, which is 2024's remake of The Crow, and Daz is going to take us through that. So, Daz, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Don't go see this movie. And that's our review for fuck me. This week it's The Crow 2024. Again, myself and Phil decided to see this separately because it was not worth a trip into IMAX. I don't even know if it was playing in IMAX. So I saw it in a small little local cinema with one other guy who just...
Again, was it the same guy from the last one?
He was sitting a bit closer this time. It's just like maybe just 20 rows and I think probably seats of like about 100 people or something like that. And he was just sitting in the same row as me. Just came in, just sat down, just like, I know it's probably your seat, but like, just read the room and just fucking sit anywhere, man. It's just like, 3 seats away from me, just like, oh, that's, yeah. But, we didn't, we haven't chatted to each other at all about this. I don't even, Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start with this. What we normally do is we'll try and give our spoiler-free review on this and then just go heavy into spoilers. And the spoiler-free for this will probably be about fucking 2 minutes because nothing really happens in this movie. It's like it's an hour 50 minutes or something like that. Felt like 5 hours. It's unbelievable. Before we get into it, Phil, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I texted you my kind of initial... I didn't tell you my thoughts, so I did text you to start to say we owe Alex Proyas like a 5-minute apology because we had gone off on him when he had said this looks terrible, blah, blah, blah. And again, I stand by the fact that, maybe a bit, don't judge it too early like that.
Absolutely.
But, he is 100% right, man. This was a far cry from the movie that he had made. And by the sounds of it, a far cry. I've never read the comic. So it's a far cry apparently from that as well. They wanted to do their own thing basically. And this is just, I don't know if this grabs the attention of, an angsty teens or something like that, but it feels like it was made years too late. Like your man has the way he dresses, all that kind of stuff is fucking school shooter vibes all over it. Like it's just this big emo dude. I'm like, this should have come out years ago when fucking like 90s kind of stuff. Like it has a 90s, early 2000s kind of vibe to it that it just, I just didn't get it. There's so much in it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? It just, so many bizarre choices. Like surely while you were making this, you must have gone, look, I guess we're in too far now. We'll just have to keep going because that's the only way to rationalize. Like the only good parts of this are the violence. Like the death scenes at the whatever it's called, the opera kind of house thing.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah,
some of those are incredible, really cool. Like fucking laugh out loud. Kind of some of them were just brilliant.
Yeah,
but the rest of it is just shite, boring as fuck. Doesn't make sense. It makes sense if you know what I mean. It's not that it's hard to follow; just the choices don't make sense. God, I really feel for Bill Skarsgård.
He's doing his best.
He is. Yeah, but like with what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even in this, I don't think he's very good. Like in Boy Kills World, that was kind of that was never going to be a great movie, but it had enough in it that it was never going to be. There was enough to work with where it was never going to be really bad. It was just like even if it was bad, it would be fun to watch, and it was a lot of fun at times. And he was having fun with that, more so than this. Even though like he is like one line of dialogue in Boy Kills World, and he just did the rest. His physical acting and physical performance was brilliant in that movie, and in this movie, he has a lot more to say, and I thought he was fucking pretty shit. He was better than Shelley, FKA Twigs. formerly known
Yeah.
as Twigs. I don't know why she's in the movie. She's not even an actress. She's a singer or performer or something like that. And yeah, when I saw FKA Twigs, I was like, what the fuck is it? Like, is this some kind of Prince thing? Like, you formerly known as?
Well,
apparently
no,
someone else had the name Twigs, and she had to change her name to FKA. I don't
yeah,
know.
but
I
she's
don't know why
even
that's a
said
talking
herself
point.
that it doesn't necessarily stand for that, is what she had said at one point. I remember reading an interview, like, and people were like, "Oh, that's what usually what that means." But formerly known as, but she had said no, it just doesn't necessarily have to mean that. It's like, what do you mean by that then? I don't know. Go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's just there's nothing to interrupt. The movie is it's awful. Like, I sat there for a lot of this. Like, you know, towards the end, there are a couple of gratuitous kind of almost body horror kills that are kind of like, oh, that's pretty gross, or I haven't seen that before. But for most of it, I just kept thinking, like, why am I so bored? Like, why am I so bored of this movie? Even if it's like, I've seen the sequels of the Crow movies. Like, I've gone there and even saw some of the TV show back in the late 90s. Whoa, like, it's just, but those are more entertaining than this, because they're like Trap, you know, a few weeks ago, that was like, is this movie worse than Trap? I don't know. I don't think so, but it's like, Trap's probably a worse movie, but it's more entertaining to watch. This was a lot of it was just like, yeah, man, this is, why are you doing this? Like, they wanted to do their own thing, and there was a lot of backlash, you know, at the start, because when this was first announced, because they were doing the Eric Draven Crow character, which is the original Brandon Lee one, and that's a cult classic, beloved by many due to, like, obviously Brandon Lee's performance, and of course because he died, and actors making final movies when they die, like, there's some kind of mythological stature attributed to them, like, you know, Heath Ledger, the Joker, and stuff like that, and those roles and characters become iconic and protected, all this stuff. So that shouldn't matter in this movie, but the fact that they're just taking, oh no, we're doing the Eric Draven movie, but we're doing it our way. It's not a remake or reimagining. It's a new kind of thing. Whereas looking in the comics and in other canon from The Crow, there's 10, 12, there's more than a dozen different versions of The Crow that they could have went with. And it's just, you're starting off that way where you're just going, you're kind of annoying probably who's going to see this movie, fans of the original. And when like we talked about Alex Proyas, when the initial images were online, and it's kind of going, oh, it's overly tattooed, it kind of looked like the Jared Leto's Joker a bit too much, where just the vibes of that were just like, oh, I think you're trying too hard here. You're hitting for an audience that I don't think are going to watch this movie. But yeah, I thought the performances were pretty bad. Danny Huston, can't remember how to say his name. I like him. Everyone to know him from Wolverine. Is it Origins or one of those where he plays Stryker? And I like him as an actor. He can be menacing, and he goes to being an absolute fucking ruthless dickhead pretty easily. But he has nothing to do in this movie. His character is nonsense. It's just like nonsense. I can whisper in your ear, I sold my soul to the devil, or whatever. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Which is, a lot of this movie was just, why have they made this movie? Why go here? Why do this? Who wrote this? Like, it's just, some of the cinematography there's some shots that are pretty cool. There's one later on in an opera where he goes out on stage and he stands on stage, but there's no reason for him to do that.
Yeah, 100%,
at all.
Yeah.
But it's just for that wide shot where everyone leaves the theater and he's standing there on the lights and he's on stage and he's in his get up, and it's like, that's a cool shot. And a lot of the movie seems to try and be, let's try and get to this because that'll look cool, but the getting to it makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. I fucking really didn't like this movie. I was just bored to fucking tears. And I just could not understand why I was bored. It's just like, why am I not more enthralled? Like, a lot of the stuff I think I'd seen in the trailer anyway. Yeah. What did you make about your one Shelley?
Yeah, like I mean, I know obviously I know she's a music artist that prepares someone for tunes. I knew who she was, and but the minute that it started off, because it starts off pretty much with her. I thought that she'd gotten better a little bit, like as if the maybe it was because as shooting went on, she got slightly better. But for the most part, anytime she's given anything with long stretches of dialogue, I was like, oh man, she's just not delivering. It's not her fault. She's not an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's.
But she's like a mouth breather thing. Like she just her resting face. Her mouth is always open. It's just like, you know, all her reactions are just close your fucking mouth. Like it's just really distracting.
Yeah, and it's yeah, like it again. I don't know why they do this when they. No, when they start putting musical people in, and I get people can change trajectories on their job and put them in, but generally it's. You know, a small little role, like you say, Harry Styles was in, what's that called, Dunkirk. Yeah. You know, but it's this very small role. You know, and he's got, of course, the next thing. Then he has gotten bigger roles since, but he kind of dipped his toe in and all that kind of stuff. Whereas it just seems like she's gone straight into being the love interest, and she's in it for loads of the movie. Like, and in the Alex Proyas one, we barely really see Shelley apart from kind of. You know, flashbacks because she gets killed and that's the whole thing. It's him coming back. Whereas
she serves a purpose properly. Yeah.
Whereas she's in loads of this.
Like,
and it doesn't make any sense. I think maybe we'll just give our star rating and get on into the spoiler stuff because there's so much to take apart. That we'll probably do pretty quickly. I don't see it being a long review.
No. So what would you give it?
Oh, like it's a 1-star movie, but like that's when you mentioned Trap there. I think that's a good thing. Like Trap. Say is a bad movie, but if you watch it with someone else, it's going to be fun because you'll both laugh your asses off at how ludicrous and stupid it is. Whereas this one shouldn't be watched whether you're with people, without people. It shouldn't be watched by animals. Nobody should watch it. It's just, it's bad. It's bad for people. It's bad for crows. It's just
for people.
Yeah, it's just don't see it. It's terrible. Just go and watch the Alex Proyas one again. You know, or read the comics. Just don't. It's bad. It gets 1 star for me.
Well, that's so funny. It's bad for crows. That's a line on the poster. Look at that. Yeah, it's 1 from me as well, and 1 star in all the worst ways. There's enough behind this movie for it to be better. Take away the female lead, maybe reduce her role a little bit. We'll kind of get into that. But the director, like Rupert Sanders, he's done Snow White and the Huntsman, you know, the Ghost in the Shell remake. Both 3-star-ish movies. He's a competent director. He's probably not the best choice for something like this. But it's very rare these days, especially when we're reviewing bad movies, that we get the fun out of it because we get to chat about it and fucking laugh our asses off. So it's very rare, even with a bad movie, that you actually come out of it going, that is, I think, 2 hours wasted of my time. Because even when we're chatting about it, it's like, this is just, I'd watch Madam Web again any day of the fucking week. You know, and I might fucking do that this week. I might just try and fucking see it again. But 1-star movie. Don't go and see it. There's nothing really redeeming. There's a couple of decent shots. If you're a fan of trench coats and crows, you know, and black blood, I don't know. Yeah. And like he's practically immortal, and he's practically, well, not immortal, but he's practically invulnerable for the most part. And like the biggest struggle he has is managing to like keep clothes on, because he's just, they want to have him topless at all times. Like he's running along and someone grabs him and his whole t-shirt just comes off over his head. He's constantly walking around either bare chested with a jacket on, or a big huge furry coat on, or whatever fur coat or that thing he had on at one point was, or he's walking around topless. Like it's just any excuse to have him without a top on. It's wild. That's it. Let's go to Spoiler Town. Okay, spoiler warning. Woo. Jesus Christ. Yeah, starting on that coat. Why? At one point, just like, why are you standing on the bridge? You just got like this pink furry coat. Just like, why are you wearing that? Where did that come from? What the fuck is going on here? Yeah, and we should have touched on this already, but like it's the fifth movie in the franchise. 1994 is fucking
That was only one good one.
Cult classic. Yeah, then The City of Angels, which is awful. That got like 4 on IMDb or something. Crow
Edward
Salvation.
Furlong.
Yeah, is that what, yeah, that's fucking second one. Oh god, it was so bad. That was, when he was probably in steep decline of just like, yeah, just fire your agent, man. You're spiraling out of control. But the Crow TV show, yeah, was 1996 to 98. I think, I don't know how and why and where. I remember seeing like 2 episodes of that and just going, whoa, it might as well be made with someone with a handy cam. And then the Crow Wicked Prayer in 2005 is a 3 out of 10 on IMDb, and I've seen that. That's, at the time, was just like, oh, wow, like it's a new low for kind of, because I was in film school at the time, and this kind of, you're watching this and going, oh my god, we can get anything made. We can make movies. We can get anything in the cinemas. Absolutely, because this is fucking was playing the cinema around the corner. But yeah, let's even the setup. The setup. It's Eric Draven and his he falls in love with his girlfriend Shelley, and they are murdered, and he gets a chance to avenge her and come back with the help of a random guy in a weird limbo world and a crow that doesn't really do anything. The crow just flies around, just like lands in a building. Hey, you should probably check this out. Cool. All right. Stars Bill Skarsgård, FKA Twigs, we've talked about that. Danny Huston is the big bad. And this movie has a whopping 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, and rightly so, because it's fucking awful. And I missed the opening of this movie because the audience, it's great that they I think they only have 10 minutes for their ads and trailers now, because 2 movies have gone into now, 3 movies that have been late for each one. So I walked into this when, you can fill me in because I obviously missed the credit sequence, but I'd love to just say like I walked in with 20 minutes to go or something and just pass it over to you. But I walked in and he was being surrounded by a couple of bullies, and he had a flashback of a white dead horse. And that's kind of where I sat down. And then it took me a while to put my 4,000 calories of jellies and chocolate into their respected holders. What happened before that? Was that a detention center or a rehab center that he was in?
I think it's a rehab center. Like, it doesn't say what he's done. Yeah, which is a bit mad. We'll get into that, but yeah, the whole start of it is obviously it's a flashback. He comes home first and he finds the horse it's not actually dead at the time. It's all wrapped up, and it's kind of a talk over him, or there's a voiceover, and he's trying to pull the fucking barbed wire off this poor horse that's stuck there, and that's how he ends up with those scars on his hands. And yeah, he's then it cuts to him kind of grown up in the detention center, and he's getting picked on, but he's just. He just doesn't care. He just arms down, just letting them hit off him, whatever. But like, I think so I just went the part where she first gets introduced. You were there for that.
Yeah, I saw that where he's looking out and he sees her walking by, and they start.
No, but you didn't see. There's a scene at the start where she first gets a phone call and all the rest of it. How she ends up in that prison. Oh, well, there's a whole thing about how she ends up getting arrested. Like there's someone, they're all basically, these guys are all on the hunt for her, so she has to run out of her apartment. That video that gets mentioned later on.
Okay, all right.
And when she comes running out, and there's the dude following her, and so she purposely runs into a bunch of cops, and she has drugs on her.
That's in the trailer, yeah.
And she purposely runs into them, and they pick up, and she's a bag of coke in her pocket, so they go grand. She gets arrested, and you see the guy who's following her.
She gets out of danger.
So she gets out of danger by purposely getting arrested, and she gets thrown into this thing, but she knows that she's not safe. But yeah, then he's in the detention center, and he sees her walking in. It is weird. Like, this detention center is both male and female, not separated. They all they're all living thing, but they're not allowed to sit together. Yet,
but they can go into each other's cells.
Into each other's bedrooms and cells, but they can't have dinner together. I think, why are they all allowed to wander around together? I mean, there's got to be all sorts of fucking horrible shit. You don't want to be locking up vulnerable women with fucking dangerous dudes. It's just horrific. Like,
it's a far more interesting movie set in that fucking rehab center. For sure, because they, of course, they lock
the
eyes.
building is cool.
Billing
inside
looks
of it.
fucking cool. Yeah, really good design. But they lock eyes, and they start their courtship, if you will. They just start to bond and laugh over silly jokes and stuff. And it's just, I was trying to buy into it because you're just like, okay, let's go. That's what they're doing. They're starting the start of how they met. But I was thinking, like, are they going to go fast forward or something, or is the story actually going to be like, are they going to die pretty soon, which ends up happening, and it's like this whole love story is built on these people knowing each other for about fucking 2 or 3 weeks, and just going, because the passage of time is not very clear at all from when they meet and get out, and obviously there's a couple. There's not even a good montage, Phil. There's not a kind of a montage kind of be like, okay, a montage will tell you maybe 6 months has passed, or something like that. But there's just so many scenes. I thought they're quite painful between them. It's weird as actors. You can see them having a bit of rapport. They probably enjoy each other's company. Both good looking. They're probably mates off screen, and they're trying to inject this into these scenes, but it just doesn't really work, because I couldn't buy into her at all, and she wouldn't close her mouth, and it's just really annoying.
I just found him to be such a fucking moan. Like, he's so
over fucking load.
It's so fucking moody. Like, she walks into his room and he's got fucking stuff pinned up all over his walls. They're just, everything's all dark drawings and stuff. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you write poetry?" And he's like, "No, it's not songs. It's just stuff that comes out of my head, and I just write it down."
Fuck off,
fuck off. So you're not. It's not poetry. It's not song. It's just something that you decided to write down, and then you stuck it to the wall. Like, what was the point of it then?
Like, when she has he sees her tattoo, and it's just like, cry now, laugh later, and he's like, for me, it would be like, cry now and cry later. You're just like, oh, will you cheer up, you fucking ball of shite?
Oh, it's so fucking emo fucking nonsense. Like, I mean, that's why I was saying it feels like should have been made years ago. This is some of those emo kids fucking wet dream. Watching this, be a bunch of them fucking dickheads hanging around Central Bank would be all over this. You know what I mean? But anyway, but I'd be like, they obviously make a connection in the jail, but they're not actually going to leave together, because like when they're in together, and she's like, "Oh, I probably won't be safe here. Someone's going to come and get me." And sure enough, the people who are after a show come get. So they run and they make their escape out of which is essentially is a prison. They cut off their ankle monitors, and they jump out through a small window. But he's not going to go with her. Yeah, he says goodbye to her and good luck, and she's leaving it, and then he heads with her. Like, they haven't even kissed or anything at this point.
No, he's like, I'll go with you. I'm sick of this place anyway. You fucking
he goes, baby. I'm rehabilitated. I'm gone. Like, you fucking douchebag.
So then, and I missed this next part where, like, the next section where they get out and they go to this really nice apartment. Oh. She said it's her friends. Is that her rich? How does she have rich friends with this really fucking cool apartment? Like, that was just kind of like, oh, it's just my rich friend said I could, hang here whenever I'm around. Just like, what? And then they just kiss and shag and wreck the fucking place, just spilling champagne all over the place. It's like, fucking you bunch of dickheads! Like, you're house sitting for this guy. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this dude has like a penthouse. It's fucking gorgeous. And she's like, "Oh, he left me," and straight away Bill Skarsgård's like, "Whoa, this place is insane." He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, it's just a friend of mine, but he's in fucking Chile or somewhere like that." And he says, "I can use it whenever I want." And yeah, like you said, the two of them get into fucking straight away. But they are going around, they're trying on all this person's clothes. Mm-hmm. They're fucking breaking open, fucking spraying champagne on each other. And it's fucking, Jesus Christ. Like, this poor bastard's going to come home and his gaff is in bits.
Yeah. Kissing, shagging, wrecking the place, doing drugs, just having a fucking laugh, just going, woo.
But again, these are two young people who they're not working, right? So we don't know how long has passed when we get, because this is kind of a montage of them going out and doing drugs and partying,
but it seems like a bit of a montage of that one night.
Yeah, but this they don't explain, because you see them, they actually have mates that they're going out and partying with. You see them going out like a trip, kind of camping,
swimming and stuff.
Yeah, so there's all this shit happening, but it's like, hang on a second, they just got out of this fucking. Neither of them have a fucking penny to their name. So how have they got all this stuff?
They should be laying low. It's just like, just fucking lay low, guys. A, because you just escaped from this fucking place. B, because she's got some fucking darker shit that she's trying to hide from, don't go out fucking clubbing. Don't go out fucking, just stay in the fucking gaff.
And this is the thing. He must have his own place from before he got locked up, because apparently he's in the juvenile.
Pretty cool apartment.
He's in this detention center. But like when they come out of the nightclub, she goes, "Oh, let's just go back to your place." So did he already have that place before he went into the detention place? I don't know. But this place again, it's a decent size. He's got fucking
cool
loads of.
place.
He's got high tech fucking, and he's got some like banger. Like he's got laptop recording, all this
what
recording equipment
like?
and stuff. Like it's just
you obviously don't write songs because they're like. They at one point they attempt to write one fucking song at some point. But my problem with the montage thing was like the passage of time is like, right, okay, we're like you're trying to show their bond and the reason that he has this fucking love, and the love for her is what gives him the fucking chance to come back to avenge her and bring her back and all this stuff. But that passage of time, because in the middle of this kind of supposed montage time when they're going out with friends and stuff, they have a scene where they're on the rooftop and they talk about love and loving each other and all this stuff. So they're only talking about that then. It's just like, is this day 3? Like, what's happening? Is it week? What is it? Is a second date? What's happening here? I mean, you don't want to go on comparisons because it's not a direct comparison, but it's similar enough in terms of Eric Draven and his girlfriend Shelley from the original 30 years ago. But that you start and you're in with them. He has this girlfriend. He fucking loves her. You see that in a couple of just really nice natural scenes. It's not thrown down your fucking neck. It's just, and he's a fucking good actor. He's not fucking world class, but Brandon Lee does a fantastic job of selling all that.
Great in it.
And then he's amazing in that movie. And then the flashbacks that are littered throughout that movie are stuff that we haven't seen, or it's flashbacks and just showing poignant moments with his girlfriend or wife who's now dead that he's mourning. In this, later on, you get flashbacks of things you've seen already that happened 2 weeks ago. I'm just thinking about that lovely moment 2 weeks ago at the beach. It's like, where's the weight in that? It's just like, I don't care. Like, cry now, laugh later. Fuck off, man. Just, where were we? We can skip an hour into the movie. Because he doesn't. It's like he doesn't turn it to the Crow. I think for a good 45, 50 fucking minutes in this movie or something. It's just
like eventually they catch up on them.
Or they go clubbing and some dude comes over to shit. People like
we hear his name mentioned.
Eric Draven finds this guy later on. It's just I don't know how he's finding all these people. It's just like I'm just going to wander around. The Crow's going to find this guy for me. But anyway, they go clubbing and some dude that Shelley knows comes over and says, "Oh, Sadie's dead. They found her body, and we've seen this in a previous scene where a cop they find a body in a river." And he says they're going to come after us, so you need to leave. And she's like, "No. I'll go with Eric." So it's just like, oh yeah, they're going to go home. And at this point, we've seen a couple of scenes with the big bad who's just sold a soul to the devil and just does some evil whispering to people, which turns their eyes all white and they kill themselves or kill someone else or whatever. And the whispering thing is kind of cool with him. But
it is if it sounded a bit better, or you could make out what he was saying. But like the thing about it is, what I found weird, are they implying that we know his power? Basically, we might as well just skip to that part. He's gotten basically he can't die. He gets immortality as long as he offers up souls that would have normally gone to heaven, get sent down to hell. So he's getting innocent souls basically sent down. But the way he does this is he's getting people. Fair enough if you want to get someone to murder someone else. So that's what he had done to Shelley. He got her to stab somebody. That's why she was going to get sent to hell. But most people, he just gets them to commit suicide. So are they implying this and then in this movie that anybody who commits suicide is going straight to hell is basically what they're saying, because that's what he tells them to go and do, jump off a roof, stick a knife in your own neck, whatever. So they're saying if anybody, which I think could be triggering for a lot of people who might watch this movie who've had brushes with suicide or had a suicide in their family or something, and how difficult it can be to lead to a point that you consider taking your own life. To get to that, how desperate their life must be. You must be watching this go, oh, fuck yourself. So not just bad enough that I had to do this.
It's so thrown together script-wise. It's just like, it's the lamest it's not even backstory. This guy has no fucking backstory. It's just kind of like, oh, he does, and he does this, as you're saying, gets him to kill themselves or kill. If it was to get him or his whispering to service the devil, to get them to do an evil act, to get them to go to hell or something like that, it's like, ooh, that's kind of clever. You're possessing people, and that's, you know, that's a little more terrifying than going, I'm going to whisper at you and you're going to jump off a fucking roof. Just like, okay. And there's moments in it, like early on, where he gets, I think this is the Sadie one, where he gets her to stab herself in the neck, and it's pretty fucking gross. And, you know, this movie has a lot of moments where the camera normally cuts away and it doesn't, so you get the impacts of the knives and stuff like that, which is great. But after that, then he cuts his own hand or puts his hand on her neck and has this weird fucking like possessed fucking thing or whatever, where he's just, I don't know what's happening, but there's some kind of ritual thing he does, but he doesn't do it with everyone. So like,
yeah, that was it. I was like,
what's the point with that? Why is he doing it for one and not the other? Like, just get the fucking villain right. Just get it simple.
Yeah.
What the fuck is his plan? Like, what is he doing? It's so haphazard, it's thrown together. It's I gave up giving a shit about that.
Yeah, I think the same here. Does I thought that's what when he put his hand, I thought, oh, he's that, you know, he must absorb the fucking the blood of the person who's, you know, who's now getting, whose thing is now getting sent to hell or something along those lines. But it's not clarified in any way. Like, none of the rules of why he was able to make a deal with the devil. Why did he get to do it and no one else in the human race has done it? Why is he the only one devil allowed to do this? You know, is there a reason? Because he mentions he's alive for hundreds of years. So, you know, how has he managed to keep this a secret? Because he seems to be out popular. Everybody seems to know who he is.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, seems powerful and famous. Like, surely someone should go, hang on a second, this dude's been alive for fucking 300 years. And none of this is explored at all. Yeah,
like there's so much more to that character. There's so much more stuff that's necessary, but that also would be far more interesting. You know, just even the way you're talking about there, just like, that sounds fucking cool if all those questions are answered. Just like, oh, how does he go about his day? Like, what does he have for breakfast? But anyway, they go home and they get murdered because there's guys waiting there. And this, in one way, it was a very disturbing scene. In other ways, it's kind of baffling, because I know they get suffocated with plastic bags, and plastic bags are obviously clear enough so we can see their facial expressions and really hit home the horrific, harrowing nature of,
and they can see
what's
each other.
happening. And they can see each other and all this kind of stuff. But also, their hands seem to be free. So would you not show them zip tied? Just holding onto his hand, and it's it just pop the fucking pop a hole. Or the bags are so thin, I'm pretty sure your tongue could just pop a fucking hole in it, or just bite a fucking hole in it. It's just. But yeah, that aside, it's done very well in terms of like the last gasps and looking at each other, reminding me of the bits in Memento. You know, when he's lying down on the bathroom floor and, you know, watching his wife die beside him. That kind of stuff is always, it's kind of, does hit hard enough. But then, like, that is, they both die. Later on, we'll get into, like, when from here, it kind of, you're waiting for this moment. But after this, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I wish this hadn't happened and they just played out the another half of the first half of the movie. Because Eric goes to or first he goes where everyone goes when you're suffocated and you're going to become a superhero. He goes underwater. Like, everyone just goes into a fucking underwater lake and sees their love just sinking and says, I can't quite get her. And then he just comes out of the water and he's in this place, unnamed place, like an ethereal abandoned train yard, limbo as such. And he meets a guy who I don't think is ever named, but he's the
Kronos.
Oh, it's Kronos. Oh, cool name.
Yeah.
Who is the gatekeeper of sorts for this place. And
Kronos, you know.
That's
but I think Kronos is. But I think the Kronos is like he's like one of the gods of time or something along those lines. Yeah. But also, Kronos.
Yeah, it's Jesus Christ. It's So yeah, there we get exposition heavy dumps about you can have a chance essentially to go back, just like the other movie, but it seems just a bit more convoluted here and unnecessarily long-winded, where it's like, because you have this true love for this lady that you've met 3 weeks ago, you have a chance to go back and avenge her, and so two of you can come back, and it's like, okay, that's great, and and that's kind of it. It's like, okay, and from now on, all stakes are completely off the table. There's nothing matters ever again. It's John Wick, who's just bulletproof, and up to a point, because there's a moment in this movie where he loses his power for the most ridiculous fucking reason. We're just like, oh, did you doubt your true love? Did he? I didn't see him doubting his true love.
Well, it's because he sees that video. Like at this point, he doesn't know. Yeah, at this point, he doesn't know that what Danny Houston does. He doesn't know what the bad thing is that Shelley wouldn't say that she had done. Whereas on this video, it's her stabbing somebody because Danny Houston has whispered in his ear. But like this whole thing with your man Kronos, like he's explaining all this stuff, and it's like, well, explain more about who you are. What do you do here when no one else is around? Like, do you just hang out here forever on your Tobler? Because he just seems to be just walking around the place, and he's like, ancient civilizations used to believe that a crow would guide people to the afterlife. But again, the whole stuff about the crow in the first movie is that the crow actually plays a decent part. At one point the crow gets injured by Wen Bei Ling, and that fucking hurts him. Yeah. We see she's through the crow's eye. The crow is leading him places, Whereas this, we cut to it every so often, but it doesn't fucking play a part really at all.
There's about maybe 7 or 8 seconds in the movie that if you cut out, you could name this movie The Badger, and no one fucking knows the difference. It's just like, okay. It's just a couple of cool shots where it's just like, oh, close up of a crow looking left to right, and then it's just like, all right,
yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, and like you said, when he comes back, he's running from fucking place to place to try and track down where Shelley is. And but that part where he goes, I'm not sure if this is before he gets killed again, by those dudes. When he is this when he goes into the apartment of his buddy and he wants to get a gun?
Oh yeah,
is that the next part? Is it after he comes back?
I think so. Yeah, meets his mate.
He's running around trying to find and he can't find her, but he goes, "I need to get a gun," because he knows he's told by your man that Danny Houston, he's alive because he made a deal with the devil and he shouldn't be on Earth, and he is. But you need to right the wrong, so it's kill him, kill everybody he's associated with.
Here's the thing,
and that will free her.
Right the wrong of the people that killed you and murdered your wife. It's like. But
because
the main guy he didn't pull the trigger. He didn't do anything. Like he didn't.
No, but he did. He talked like so after Shelley died, she went to hell, but she wouldn't have gone to hell if he hadn't have been whispered in her ear and said, "Go and kill that other chick over there." Okay, she would have died and gone to heaven. And so, but that wouldn't have happened if he didn't have this fucking power that after making this deal with the devil. So it's like, right, if you're right the wrong. Kill him, so he's not alive anymore. So this aberration isn't on Earth anymore, and that means that Shelley can go back up. She can go to heaven, and like he's running around to kind of find. He wants to catch these people, so he goes to his mate and asks for a gun, and his mate straight away is like, "Oh, fucking gun! What do you want a gun for?" And he's like, "I need one to go, whatever, to kill somebody or something like that." Your man goes, "All right, fair enough," and he just reaches behind and he just happens to have one there. Like he's not like,
he gives him a gun and like
7 bullets.
7 bullets I've written down. Like Eric gets a gun and 7 bullets. But like even when he
gets it out from a bag, like just behind in the same room, like he's like a gun. Whoa, that's fucking wild. Actually, there's one right here in this bag, and just hands it to him. Like, but again, this scene though, because he fights a bunch of dudes. Don't the dudes come in? And he starts getting fucking shot and all the rest of it. And he doesn't it because his mate gets shot in the head.
Yeah. But like, when he first I had to write this down, like, and I probably missed some of the movie to get this right. But it's just like when he got to his friends and he's just like, his friend's like, "Oh, Eric, where you been, man? Everyone thought you were dead." And he looks at him straight in the face and delivers like, "Everyone was right." And just like, oh. Wow. It's a writer.
But then I've always been dead on the inside.
The writer's on set just going, yeah, fucking he delivered that fucking with this perfect deadpan tone that fucking Eric has like the whole movie's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill every single one of them. And it's just like, it's like Hayden Christensen, fucking Attack of the Clones all over again. It's like, oh my god, I hate everybody. Okay. But yeah, first he goes and he meets Shelley's mum. And she's a weird character. I didn't really know what was going on with her. She tried to get power and sold her daughter's fucking life away to this guy or something. Well. It's just really bad. And he goes into Shelley's bedroom for a ridiculously long amount of time. When the mother is losing her shit in the other room, he breaks a fucking glass or something. She's like, ooh. But yeah, he just the first kill that he gets actually before that scene with his mate, where he's just walking. Oh no, after he meets his mate, he goes out with the gun, and he just finds one of the guys in a car. He's just sitting in his car, the window down, and he just walks over and just looks at him. And the guy in the car goes, "We killed you." Just like, yeah, you did. And you're just going, do you remember the scene in the first one where similar thing, his first kill? And he gets the guy, an amazing fucking actor, I can't remember his name, but ties him to the car. And while he's tying him to the car and he's about to like drive the car off into a fucking wall or something. And the guy's like, "We killed you. We killed. This is the really real world. We killed." And it's such an iconic scene. And then they're trying to play the same tune with this. It's like, "We killed you. Yeah, you did." It's like, oh, fucking hell. Try a little harder, lads. Fucking hell. It's just, we're paying homage to the original. No, you're not. It's awful. And he ends up killing that guy.
Is that definitely the first guy he kills? Because doesn't he go back to his own apartment? You know what I mean? He goes back to his own apartment.
Oh, the cop.
And
the cop is there.
And there's a dude that's sent in who's a cop who's on the payroll, the bad guy, and he's in
we're
there.
Skipping all over. Yeah.
And he ends up having a fight with him, and he's getting he gets shot first of all. The cop thinks he's dead. Then he ends up getting back up, but they fight, stabbing him, blah blah blah, and then he ends up fucking killing the cop. And I think that's one of the first kills. But like they're all so fucking lame. But like each one, I suppose even if we just get to the that one
mate. Yeah, they come in.
Yeah, like I mean, but like as you mentioned, he ends up going to the place to get his mate, get the gun. There's a big fucking shootout because these lads arrive up, they've tracked them down, and like there's fucking stabbing and shooting and all sorts going on. His mate gets shot in the head, right? But the whole place is covered in blood, and he just kind of sits down and in the carnage. And it's just like, fuck, I think he's having a smoke or he's doing whatever. And he's just like,
he's going through one of the guy's phone with a cigarette, just like chilling out or whatever on a couch with his dead mate beside him with his brains all over the wall. Like, wow.
Like his fucking head is bursting open because he's been shot straight in the head. Yeah. And he's just sitting there beside him. He takes his smoke out of his mouth because he's trying to use the phone. And he puts it in the dead guy's mouth and goes, hold on to that for a second. And sticks it in the dead guy's mouth so that he can fucking mess around with the phone.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It's astonishing. But yeah, he gets when the guys come in, he gets shot with a shotgun and he goes back to the underwater fucking realm and then goes back into the in-between limbo place. And at one point
it's because at this point he has seen the video on the phone.
Yeah.
He's seen the video on the phone that says,
like, is that enough? You saw what she did and is that enough to like, oh, you're doubting your true love? Or would you not just understand that we not just put it together and just go, well, I know her, she's not that, she said she did bad things and all this stuff to him in the past, but you're kind of going, for me, is that enough? But I don't know if I was, maybe I wasn't fucking paying attention, which I wasn't for a lot of this movie. But I was just like, why is he suddenly just stop healing and all his powers are gone? And the guy says just like, the opposite of hate, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's doubt. And he's just like, he says, well, I didn't doubt my love. And he's just like, are you sure? And it's just like, when did he doubt his love? When did he stop loving her? I'm pretty sure he's still madly in love with this dead girl.
Yeah, well, I don't know at this point, I don't know in this point, does he realize that Danny Houston had whispered in her ear? He just knows that she has fucking stabbed somebody. And maybe that's why he kind of
that to him. Like on the rooftop or something, she or on the bridge when he was in the
she says, if I ever told you, you'd leave me or something like that.
Yeah, she's like, I've done bad stuff, and he's like, look, whatever. Like, he's obviously done bad stuff. He's a fucking degenerate
but bad stuff
fucker.
Could be like fucking around on your partner or, stealing something from the office like that, stabbing somebody in the neck is different. Like if you found out after being with somebody that you fall in love with over the space of, I don't know if this is days or weeks because it's not very clear, but if you find out that they've stabbed someone in the neck, I mean, like, that might turn me off somebody. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't know.
But Eric then, like, when this gatekeeper guy tells him this, that's why your powers have gone. Eric just knows all the rules and knows the game. He's just like, well, my life for hers. Just like, I'm just going to, my get out of jail free card. What if we do the other thing where she comes back, but you take my soul? And just like, how does he know that's even an option? What are the rules of this place? This guy is just, if he came out and kind of went, this is like somebody, like the Matrix makes more sense. You know what I mean? If someone kind of goes, this is fucking limbo. If you do this, you do this, you come here because of this. Set up some fucking ground rules or something and not have this fucking emo kid just kind of go, I'll take option number B there, gatekeeper. My life for her. It's just like,
I think your man just let him do it because he was just glad of the company. Like, your man goes back, he's just hanging out in this train here on his own. All he's got for company is hundreds of crows that are milling around the place. Yeah. And he's just happy to see him back. Like, I mean, he isn't gone fucking bananas.
That's what he said as well, because gatekeeper guy goes, like, his poor explanation at the start when he arrived in this fucking limbo place, he's just like, you stay here as long as you want to stay here. Or like, you stay here or you go back as a crow. And it's just like, well, how long do people take to decide that, how long do they stay here?
He said normally you would get a crow, the crow brings you on to whatever afterlife you're supposed to go to. But sometimes somebody's witnessed death with someone they love is so horrible that doesn't happen and they end up here. And because he sat there and fucking watched his missus die as he died, it was so traumatic that the crow was like, I can't bring you to heaven. You have to get vengeance. I don't know. And anyway, that's when he ends up in this fucking train place.
Limbo gatekeeper guy like slices Eric's hands. They fucking do a blood brothers fucking pact, and he's like, with this black blood you can now move between worlds. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you gotta go and make the wrong things right and all this fucking shite. And he gets back up in the bathtub. Yeah,
I think when the black blood, he gets that, he stops feeling the pain, because at the start when he's getting hurt, like, he can't die, but he is getting hurt. Like, he gets knocked out of a car at one point. He's, he gets fucking run over, he gets blasted, he's getting battered and bruised, and he's shown up. You can see the scars on his face, and you can see these things are leaving a mark, and they do hurt, but he will always heal. Whereas when he gets the black blood thing, it doesn't seem to hurt him, and things fully heal. Because when he's walking up, he's getting shot. You can see the fucking black blood is exploding out of him, and he's just like, whatever. But this is the start of the really cool killing, because he fucking comes back, picks up a shotgun, and just fucking goes to town on all the dudes that had just killed him for the second time.
There's that nice shot from the trailer where he kicks a guy into the ground and just fucking shotguns him in the face, and just like, yeah, cool. But then, apart from being really insensitive to his dead friend beside him while he's checking a phone, having a cigarette, he would have had to sit there and roll up that cigarette. His dead mate beside him. It was like, yeah, sorry about this. Can I smoke in here?
But you know what's fucking gas, right? Is that when he's after leaving that place, I'm just going to go back a tiny bit, right? When he's going back at that place, he's after leaving, and we've just been told by Kronos, the crow guy, what the crack is with, the pain of that, everything. That's the reason that he's able to go back, and it's, put the wrong things right. Once he's back in the world and he's walking through the city, you can hear it. It's being whispered, put the wrong things right. Put the wrong things right. And it's been said over and over and over. And then the odd crows here or there. But it's just being whispered. We just fucking told us. You don't have to whisper it over.
Just in case you weren't paying attention.
Just in case you weren't paying attention. Put the wrong things right.
From the amount of stuff that you are telling me that I didn't fucking get, and I saw this film about 3 hours ago. I'm just going. I thought I was paying attention because of fuck all notes. I don't know. I was just daydreaming. But yeah, we get to our kind of it's building up to this final opera scene where Big Bad is in there, and actually just before this, the bad guy finds out that the guys he sent to the apartment to kill him have been murdered. And he sits back after the phone call. Big bad guy sits back and he goes, "Animal." It's just like, what are you talking about? You fucking sold yourself to the fucking devil. You whisper in people's ears to kill themselves and murder other people. and you're just like, this guy's an animal because he's killed 3 year goons. Just like, it's just,
but he wants, and he's looking for his power basically, because he has at the moment he can live forever, but he's on, he has to keep fucking doing all the shit, getting people to kill themselves, all that kind of stuff. Whereas the Crow just is able to heal and have all sorts of fucking powers. So he reckons he wants this dude alive so that he can get all his fucking powers. So when the lads in the fucking thing shotgun him and kill him, he's like, fuck's sake, can't believe he's dead. I needed him. So he actually wants Airdrie, and for some reason he knows about the Crow, as in he knows what this. I don't know why they don't explain why he knows.
Because later on, when he's gets to the limbo place, he has no fucking clue whatsoever. Where am I? How do you know about this place if you've never been here? Did you read the comic? For fuck's sake!
He saw Alex Proyas' version and
I've seen a better version of this. But so Eric arrives at the opera and he kills 2 guards outside. And at this moment, you're just going, are those guys just guards for the opera? For the you're kind of going like killing people on the in fucking Star Wars or something on the Death Star, killing people. It's like, are they just doing their job, man? But this see, it's a love-hate thing with this because there's no fucking stakes whatsoever. This is kind of into like, this is just it's like stuff for the trailer or stuff for last third act, and some of it is it gets you a little giddy when you're just going, oh Jesus, that's pretty fucking nasty. But in terms of a final act swell or kind of like, let's fucking get him, it did fucking nothing for me. Kills 2 guards outside, kills another few. What are my notes here? No one in the opera hears fucking anything. It's just
that's why it's gunfire,
just unloading fucking gunfire on the stairs up to the main theater, and the opera is but
there seems to be multiple big sets of stairs. Like he goes up like a grand escalator.
He goes up the stairs about 4 times.
Yeah, doesn't mention where he gets his sword from. He just shows up with a sword and he's fucking cutting people down. That makes sense that he's going to use a sword rather than shooting because there's a bunch of people inside that'll hear this. But no, the lads come out and they're fucking shooting. Then he's grabbing guns, he's shooting them back. There's a full-on guns blown up left, right, and center, and it keeps cutting back to the opera. And it's everybody in the audience is fucking watching it. It's obviously super loud, but surely you'd still hear. There's people close enough to the back that would hear constant gunshots. But there's multiple of these staircases because he gets up and he goes into the next part. Then all of a sudden, there's another big, huge one. Where the fuck is he that has... looks exactly like, what kind of place has 3 entrances? Of the same thing? Like, is he... Like, he's stuck in some fucking... Yeah, like he's stuck in purgatory in this fucking staircase of death. Like, it's...
But there is some cool things. Like he pushes a sword into a guy's mouth and then keeps him pushing it and just kind of rips his fucking face in half, which is kind of cool. The stuff in the trailer that, it's one of those where, he gets stabbed and he takes the gun and he shoots through his own body to kill the guy behind him. And you're just going, that's just a bit silly. But there's a nice, where some guys falls over on one of the steps and just stands on his neck and just breaks his neck pretty viciously. He's just getting fucking unloaded on with bullets, and it's just like
they can't hurt him. You know what I mean?
No one can hurt him. It's like playing a video game shooter on fucking not even on easy mode. When they put it on story mode where you can't die. I've done that a few times, but So anyway, he gets through all these guys. He reaches the blonde lady, which we haven't really talked about.
She's the one who comes. She's the one who comes. She works for your man, and she had
tries
come
to get Shelley at the start. In the prison.
She's the one who kind of. I think she's one of his little fucking crew, and she tries to get him to start, and her mate, because when he finds that first dude, and they get in the car, and he's trying to fucking attack her there, and so that those 2 people are in the fucking theater, and he ends up fucking killing the 2 of them.
This is when we get that shot of, like, he obviously decapitates her and he's decapitates someone else. And when the encore for the opera is happening, he just walks out backstage, walks through them, and just stands in the middle and holds up the 2 decapitated, severed heads. And everyone goes ballistic and leaves the theater. And then we get a shot from behind him on the stage with all the fucking lights cascading around him. And it's just really cool kind of poster shot. You take a frame and print it for sure. But it's like, why'd you do that? now
Yeah.
police are on the way, and just there's
And what do
absolutely
these people
no
do to
need.
you? Like these are just opera guests. It's not like you've got. It's not like all these fucking 1,000 people that are sitting in this big place are all in on it or all after you. But he walks in there and fucking with a head in each hand and fucking throws it, and people are fucking running out and panicking and stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like, what was the point of that? You know what I mean? You've already made your way in. Just go back out the way you came in and just fucking. You've got the address. You know where he's going to be.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to ask, right? Because I know we're getting towards the very end now. Is it explained what the story is with that? Was she a pianist or a fucking cello player? What the fuck
from the start.
What instrument does she play? I can't fucking remember it now. But
I think she's pianist. I think.
But whatever. I can't even remember what it is. But like, she's some prodigy or whatever like that. So Danny Houston makes this big deal about wanting to see her play. He gets introduced to her. Then she's in his car later on. And all this. But there's not any stakes. We don't find out why. Like, was he planning to kill her? Was she one of the people he's going to sacrifice? Why is she going along with him in his car? Is she being like that? Yeah, and because she looks incredibly young, I'm like, this is coming off as creepy now. Like, why is she in the fucking car with him? But then we don't really get anything more from her.
That just goes nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get to the ending then of the final encounter, which is just so fucking mundane. I thought this was just so fucking shit. Like he goes to his house and he walks in and the big bad's just sitting. He goes down into like what seems like a lair or something like that, and he goes into a room that's unlocked and it's no problem. And Big Bad is just sitting there combing his fucking hair. It's just like, what's happening? And they have a little exchange, and he's kind of like, "Oh, how could she love you? Look at you," to Eric, and then whispers in Eric's ears and in his ear, and we see a series of flashbacks. And he fights the flashbacks and fights the corruption, and then grabs your man, just jumps through a window in his thing. But this is an underground lair. Where the fuck is a window going to? It's like,
or is it a mirror?
Was it a mirror? Well, he crashes through fucking something, and obviously they get transported to limbo. Don't know how. It's just one of the rules of the thing. Yeah, whatever. And they crash through into limbo, and Big Bad faces the wrath for all he's done, apparently. And we see Eric just kind of beat the shit out of him. And then the bad guy's sucked into the water with like dark hands and kind of torn apart underwater. And then we see Shelley start to rise out of the water, and she arrives into this limbo place, and they hug, and she's like, "Oh, I had such a dark dream," just like, "Yeah, yes, you did." And Eric is just like, says to her, "You get to go back." This is one of those scenes where it's just like, just have a normal conversation, just kind of going, "Yeah, Jesus Christ."
Here's what I had to do.
I've been talking to a crow. Yeah. That's been cut from the movie pretty much. And there's this fucking guy, and you just kind of go, he just goes, "You get to go back." Just like this cryptic stuff. And she's like, what have you done? It's just like, "Oh, just say I can't come with you. I had to do this, blah, blah, blah." It's such a, it's trying to be a melodramatic scene between them.
But it doesn't make sense. Work. Like, because she's saying that, and while she's fucking having this conversation with him, he's talking about not getting to go back, and she's like, "Well, I thought you thought it was a dream. So what do you fucking thought? Why aren't you going? What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean can't go back?
Where are we?"
While she's talking, she's kind of
yard with fucking.
She's kind of jerking like fucking thing, and it's because back in whatever the real life, she's getting defibrillator thing, and that's what happens. She fucking comes back to life in the apartment. And it's the night that the two of them had gotten suffocated and killed.
Nonsense.
And it doesn't make any sense because it's like she looks over and she's now alive, but she looks over and she sees Eric's dead body there. And the paramedic, who is Kronos, who is that dude, says, "He fought so hard for you," or something along those lines. Yes. And then we get a montage of her going off and living her life to the fullest. She's up on stage singing. She's living the life that they would have had together, making the most of herself and blah, blah, blah. But why? Why is he the paramedic? Because then you have to think, was all of that movie a dream? Did they both just die and that was her dream?
The bad guys who just killed him.
Yeah.
And it's a paradox. It's like, so are they all dead because he kill them. He's going to kill them in a few days, or it doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And plus, like she's all just seemingly okay with this. Where, like, as you said, it's just, I had such a bad dream, and just like, bad dream. You just climbed out of a fucking little puddle of water in a weird ethereal fucking train yard, and even at that point, I'm just like, right, okay, just do something here where it's like, let them fucking try and act and get some kind of, I can't go with you, but I love you, and do something. Get even the shittiest movies, like movies like Atlas and stuff, can still get you with a little fucking tearjerker or just a little moment where you go, "Oh, that was nice." Just give me something nice. But the fact that it's someone just going, again, we always say like 12-year-old, it's someone going, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if she just goes back?" And it's the night, it's like she didn't die, he did, and but it makes no fucking sense because you're resetting everything and just like, but someone still killed him. Where are they? Like, are you the Crow now? Like,
it doesn't. But you can see there's like, I wasn't sure. You could see drug paraphernalia around them, and I was like, okay, well then are they applying that they overdosed? Because that's what they had said. Someone had said at one point. That's what the cover up was, that they had overdosed.
Cool thing.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, is that what happened then? Then maybe all
everything
of this
would have been a dream.
Yeah,
for him.
So if you were leaving at that, you go, okay, that was his thing as he was dying or something. That's what he saw. She ended up coming back to life, but he had this whole fucking dream about him coming back to kill people and the rest of it. It was just it's just tripping balls or whatever the fuck it was, and he ended up dying. But after we see her going, living her life, we then come back to him in the fucking train yard, and he's not getting dragged to hell. The deal was he would go to hell where she was in her place, but yet he just like, he says something about, it's not over yet, or there's still other wrongs I can right, or he says some dumbass line, and he kind of walks off in the train yard, which at the start already happens. He's walking forward and he just appears back in the same place because it's a never ending thing, but he just starts walking off towards it, and the crow flies behind him. Where are you going? Like, you can't leave this place.
You just got to come out behind you.
Yeah, exactly. And you're supposed to be going to hell. Like, what? It's fucking nuts. Like, and it just so it can't be a dream because he's still fucking there. So I don't know.
It's so stupid.
Rupert, what's his face said that it's open to a sequel. I was like, this isn't getting a sequel. No one's going to watch this. Like,
I can't wait to see what it actually got. We were saying last week it's tracking in the States to make like between 7 and 11 million. Just like, what is it, 50 million budget or something like that? It's just like, this is...
No, it's atrocious.
Any fucking sequel. Just leave it. Leave it as graphic novels and comics and that one great movie. So yeah,
well, I think at one point though, I think at one point it was kind of looking good. They had people were really impressed with when Jason Momoa was going to do it, and there was apparently a quite impressive kind of script. And then I can't remember who it was that was writing it, but people kept making changes to it to the point where Jason Momoa was like, "This isn't anything like the original script that I signed on for. That was supposed to be really good." And so he was like, "Fucking, I'm out." And your man who was writing it was like, he just washed his hands of it. He's like, "No, this isn't what I wrote, so I'm not any part of it either." And so anybody who was involved at the start when things had looked promising, they just bailed. And then what we got was that fucking monstrosity. It was an absolute waste of time.
It's such a bad movie. Like, it's a bad movie. There are good bad movies. This is a bad movie. And everyone in it should be fucking ashamed of themselves. 1 star.
Yeah.
Don't ever go
1 star. Don't watch it. Cool. Well, look, that's the end of our episode this week. Thanks for sitting through and listening to that absolute shit show of a movie. Don't see it, but hopefully next week we'll come back with either a good movie or a bad one that we can absolutely take the piss out of. We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat and pick one out because we haven't got this one for next week. So as always, thanks a million for listening. Thanks for doing all your sharing and liking and subscribing. If you could keep doing that. And that's goodbye from me and goodbye from Daz. And we will see you all on the next one. Take it easy.
Caw-caw.